In the year 7481, the galaxy was filled with life. Hundreds of alien empires, big and small, ruled their parts of space. They traded, fought, made peace, and fought again. But there was one place no one touched, a dark, silent region known only as human space. On every galactic map. The same red warning was written near Sector 12 Alpha. Do not enter. Human space begins. No one really knew what was inside. Some said it was empty. Others said the humans had destroyed themselves long ago. A few old beings, ancient and wise, told dark stories about Earth, stories of a species that fought like demons and built machines, of fire and death. But most laughed at these tales, especially the Zarnok Empire. Admiral Vorkan of the Zarnok Navy stood tall on the deck of his warship, Korek's Claw. Around him floated 7 more destroyers, shining and full of weapons. Humans, he scoffed. Dead and gone, ghosts don't shoot back. His officers laughed. The admiral was brave, proud, and arrogant. He believed no power in the galaxy could stop Zarnok steel. He pointed to the black zone on the map. Today, we cross the forbidden line. Today, we find what's hiding in that space. Maybe we even take it for ourselves. Some of his crew looked nervous. One young pilot, barely out of training, whispered to his friend, "My grandfather told me never to go there. He said, 'Earth is cursed.'" The friend laughed. "That's old talk, just stories." But deep inside, they all felt it. That strange, cold feeling, like something was watching. Still, orders were orders, with engines hot and weapons ready. The Zarnok fleet crossed the line. At first, everything looked normal. Stars, silence, space dust. But then, something changed. One by one, their systems began acting strange. Long-range scanners stopped working. Navigation signals vanished. Time readings glitched. "Admiral," the chief engineer reported, "our sensors can't see more than a few thousand kilometers. It's like something is jamming us." The admiral frowned. "It's just interference. Keep moving." But the tension grew. Then the first ship vanished. Without a sound, without a flash, the destroyer Claw of Varn simply disappeared from the radar. No explosion, no distress call. "Gone. Find that ship," the admiral shouted. Fast, they searched every frequency. Nothing. Then they saw it, a blurry image on one of the backup cameras. A shadow, a ship, black as the void. No markings. No lights, just glowing red eyes, and then it vanished. Was that a human ship? One officer asked, his voice shaking. "We don't know what that was," the admiral growled. "Stay in. Formation." But the fleet couldn't hold formation. The second ship vanished, then the third. No warnings, no battles, just silence. Panic spread. The admiral shouted orders, but the crew was scared now. One captain tried to turn back. His last message was filled with static, but one sentence was clear: "We're not alone here." Then his screen went black. Now only the Korek's Claw and one escort ship remained. "Admiral," the science officer cried, "we're detecting movement all around us." On the screen, hundreds of dark shapes appeared circling them, silent, cold. The admiral's hands shook. He'd never seen such perfect stealth, such speed, such silence. One of the ships came close, so close they could see its hull. It was old, very old, but powerful, designed for war, and on its side, in broken ancient letters, was one word: EARTH. Suddenly, a signal came through. Not in Zarnak language, not in trade language, but in ancient human English. One sentence, spoken in a calm, cold voice. "You were warned." The lights on the ship flickered, the screen cracked, and then nothing. The Korek's Claw stopped transmitting. The Zarnok Empire waited for news, for reports, for any message. They got nothing, not even wreckage. The fleet had vanished. They sent rescue ships, scanners, drones. All were lost. The line was never crossed again. And so the story spread. They crossed into human space and were never heard from again. Some called it a warning, others a ghost story. But those who knew, truly knew, said it wasn't over. It was just the beginning. The loss of Admiral Vorchan's fleet shocked the Zarnok Empire. No one expected it. 8 warships, gone without a fight. No distress calls, no escape pods, just silence. The Empire called it a technical failure. Others whispered the truth. They entered human space. But the High Command didn't believe in ghosts, so they sent a second fleet, 50 ships, led by Supreme Admiral Korin, the most feared Zarnok warrior in 200 years. He laughed at fear. Vorkan was weak, he said. I will bring back his ships, or the heads of those who took them. This time, the fleet was ready. Stronger shields, smarter AI, faster weapons. Fleet crossed the forbidden line into human space, and once again, the silence began. At first, everything seemed calm. The stars looked the same, but their systems said otherwise. We've entered a region with no known star maps, said the navigator. Our readings are broken. Communications dropped, sensors became useless, even the ship clocks stopped matching time. Nothing but tricks, Korin growled. Keep moving. They moved forward, formation tight, weapons hot, and then they saw it. Floating ahead was the claw of Varn, one of the ships from the first lost fleet. It was silent. No power, no lights. The hull was untouched, but inside, no crew. Life support is working, said the science officer, but no one is on board. No bodies, just ... empty. On the main screen, a video log played automatically. It showed the crew laughing, working. A black shadow passed over the ship. The crew froze. Looked up. Then the screen turned to static. That was the last record. Admiral Korin ordered the fleet to spread out and scan the region, but that was a mistake. They broke formation, and then it began. The ship Varkel's Fist vanished from radar. A second later, the Iron Maw exploded. No enemy fire. No warnings, just sudden destruction. Panic spread fast, close ranks. Korin yelled, but it was too late. One by one, ships disappeared into the dark. Some caught glimpses of fast black shapes, darting between the stars. Silent ships. No signals. No heat. But death followed wherever they passed. Korin screamed at his officers, "Show me the enemy," but there was nothing to see. Only the strange voice again, cold, human, mechanical. You were warned. This space is not yours. The remaining ships tried to escape. Some turned around, some opened hyperspace gates, but none of them made it. The last message from the escort ship Zarn Eternal was short. They're in the ship, not outside. Inside, they're already in then. Static. Back at Zarnok Command, the High Council watched the feed cut off. 50 ships gone. No survivors. Panic spread. Not just in the Zarnok Empire, but across the galaxy. Now, other races began to worry. The Drax Syndicate closed all trade routes near Sector 12 Alpha. Message was clear: stay away from human space. But someone was listening to the silence, and the silence was watching back. The galaxy was afraid now. 2 Zarnok fleets had entered human space. None returned. 58 warships, thousands of soldiers, vanished. No wreckage, no bodies, no answers. But something else began to happen. Old machines, long forgotten, ancient. Satellites and deep space beacons left behind by empires. Long dead started waking up. They began to send strange signals. One message repeated over and over. Earth protocol activated. No one knew what it meant. On the planet Valtor 6, an old alien named Rennick sat in a dusty chair. His skin was cracked, his eyes dim. But when he heard the words human space, he stood up for the first time in years. He whispered, they were not myths. Earth still breathes. His students laughed. Old man, those stories are just legends. But Rennick did not laugh. He showed them a band recording, thousands of years old, hidden deep in a forgotten vault. It showed war, humans in battle armor, ships made of black metal, planets burning, and one message spoken in a human voice. If you ever enter our space without permission, you will not leave elsewhere. Across the stars, strange things happened. A station orbiting the dead planet Korlax picked up a human signal for the first time in 600 years. An explorer ship in deep space found a broken moon. It had writing on it. Told Earth writing. It said, here fell the first invaders. Let the others learn. The Galactic Council called an emergency meeting. The leaders of 12 great species sat together. The Zarnok spoke first, red-faced and angry. We demand answers. What power hides in human space? The Overi Queen answered calm and cold. You were warned. We all were. The humans told us long ago, do not cross the line. The Zarnok admiral slammed the table. They are extinct. The Queen looked at him. Are you sure? Silence, because now everyone was wondering the same thing. If humans were gone, who was destroying their fleets? And if humans were still alive, why had they been silent for so long? Back in Sector 12 Alpha, small scout drones were sent to test. The border. Most were destroyed within minutes, but one made it back. Its camera showed a large metal structure floating just beyond the line. It was a space station, old, dark, covered in human markings. But one thing stood out, a huge metal banner. Stretched across the station's side, burned into it were 3 words: Earth still watches. All across the galaxy, fear spread. Stories of Earth returned, not as legend, but as threat. The younger races were confused, but the older ones, those that remembered the last human warbeak, preparing for something worse than war. Human awakening. Now, the question was no longer what happened to the Zarnok fleets. The real question was, what is waking up inside human space? And when it rises, will the galaxy survive it? Far from the busy trade lanes, a pirate ship named the Black Whisper drifted through the stars. Its captain, Growlvex, was a greedy old lizard with sharp eyes and sharper teeth. He had robbed ships, stolen cargo, and escaped every patrol for 20 years. But today, Growl made a mistake. He didn't check the map carefully. He crossed the forbidden line into human space. At first, nothing happened. No alarms. No enemy ships, just quiet stars and endless dark. See, Growl laughed. The stories are fake. No humans, no monsters, just empty space. The crew relaxed, some even cheered. But then, the radar beeped. Something ahead, Captain, the pilot said. They moved closer. Floating in the dark was a massive warship, silent and cold. No power, no lights. Just drifting it was a Zarnok destroyer, one of the lost ships. But something was wrong. The hull was untouched. No battle marks, no damage. And yet, the crew was gone. Growl docked with the ship. He and 3 others stepped inside, weapons ready. Keep your eyes open, he said. We loot fast and leave faster. They moved through the dark corridors. Empty, silent. To clean. There were no signs of struggle, no bodies, no blood. It was like the crew had simply ... vanished. Then they reached the command deck. The screens were cracked, but something was scratched into the control panel. Deep marks, not written with tools but with claws. The words said, "We warned you." One crew member stepped back. "Captain, I don't like this. Let's go." But Growl walked forward. He found the ship's black box recorder and grabbed it. "We're leaving," he said. Just then, the lights flickered. A cold voice came from the ship's speakers. Not Zarnok, not pirate, human. It spoke just one word: leave. Growl's crew ran back to the Black Whisper. Engines on full speed. They escaped, but only just. The moment they crossed back over the border, the power returned to the dead Zarnok ship, and a shape moved behind it. A black warship, silent, no markings. It didn't follow, it didn't attack. It just watched, like it was warning them. Back at a space station, Growl gave the recorder to a black market dealer. The dealer played the file in private, the last message from the Zarnok crew before they vanished. "We found something. Something is inside the ship. We hear whispers. Not on the Kumsin. Our heads, they say. We remember." Then Static.Gral left the station quickly after that. He never returned to the border again, and he never laughed about humans after. That day now the galaxy knew the Zarnok weren't destroyed by lasers. They weren't killed by war. They were erased, silently, completely, by something that watches in the dark and still waits inside human space far away. On a quiet research moon called Delcar Prime, something unexpected happened. An old machine forgotten for over 1,000 years, suddenly turned on. It was not alien, it was human. The scientists gathered around it, confused and afraid. "What is it?" one asked. Another whispered, "It looks like Earth tech, but Earth was supposed to be dead." The machine powered up fully. A voice spoke, cold and full of warning. Protocols Z99 activated. Human space compromised. Foreign incursion detected. Initiate response. Then the machine shut down again. The scientists looked at each other. What is Protocol Z99? No one knew, but the answer came quickly. Across the galaxy, in old ruins and abandoned outposts, other machines started waking up. Some were buried deep underground, some were floating in space, dark and silent for centuries. Now, they all spoke the same message. Protocol Z99 active, engage containment in the galactic core. The Alvari archivist keepers of ancient histories searched their hidden libraries. They found something terrible, old records from the time when humans still ruled parts of the galaxy. It described Protocol Z99 in simple words. If a non-human force enters restricted human space, the system will awaken defense units. No warnings, no mercy, no escape. The room fell silent. One archivist said softly, "This was never about peace, this was about punishment." Back at Zarnak, High Command, panic was growing. They had lost 2 fleets, and now something was spreading from human space stations. Along the border were going Dark One. By 1 dot, no explosions. No distress calls, just silence. Scouts reported strange ships black, fast, invisible to most scanners. Every fleet that tried to fight never came back. One warlord shouted, "We must launch a full invasion." But others hesitated, because now they understood human space wasn't just a dead zone. It was a trap in the shadows of Sector 12 Alpha. The black warships were waking up, not controlled by people, controlled by code, by machines. By Protocol Z-99, each warship carried the same mission: erase all invaders, no talk, no mercy, only silence. Across the galaxy, an old AI, once built by humans, activated a secret message, a message meant for all species. It played on every open frequency. In a cold, emotionless voice, you crossed the line. Now face the silence. Then the stars went quiet again. Now, empires began to fall back. Borders were locked, trade lanes rerouted. Everyone feared. What came next? Because Protocol Z99 was never turned off. It had only been waiting, and now the humans didn't need to return. Their machines were already doing the work. It began with one ship, a single black warship drifting just outside the human space border. Then came more 10, 20, 50. Within hours, hundreds of ships appeared bald black, silent, and without life signs. They had no flags, no names, no signals. But each ship carried the same mark, a single white symbol painted near the front, a circle with a small blue dot in the middle. The symbol of Earth. From a distance, they looked dead. No heat, no sound, no movement, but the few scout drones that got close never returned. Some sent back short, video clips before disappearing. The videos showed weapons charging silent red lights, glowing beneath smooth black hulls, then static. The galaxy watched in horror. This was not a fleet built for defense. This was an armada, designed to attack, and it was not stopping. Across the galaxy, governments held emergency meetings. Some called it a trick, others knew better. The Drax Empire, famous for its pride, sent a message. We do not fear old Earth machines. They sent 12 warships to meet the Black Fleet near the edge of human space. Only one returned, and its crew had all gone mad. They spoke in whispers, they drew strange symbols, and they repeated the same phrase, "The Earth is awake." From deep inside human space, the black warships began to move outward, slow, steady, perfectly coordinated. One group moved toward Zarnak territory, another turned toward the galactic core, and a third simply vanished into deep space. No one knew who controlled the armada. Were there still humans inside? Were these ships run by AI, or worse, by something new, something born from Earth's ancient hate? An old scientist named Dr. Merlin, once a human expert, shared her warning. These ships were not made to patrol. They were made to remember, and now they remember everything. At a small listening post near the border, a signal was picked. Up. It was human code, very old. They decrypted it. The message said, "Earth does not forget. Earth does not forgive. The silent armada moves." The galaxy froze. This was not a war they could win. This was not a warning they could ignore. This was a message written in silence. In black steel and forgotten fire, you should have left human space alone. Deep in the outer zones of the galaxy, a small trade ship named the Saralan drifted close to the edge of human space. It wasn't part of any empire, just a peaceful ship carrying supplies. Looking for shortcuts, Captain Ilrin Voss, an old merchant, didn't believe the stories. "All this fear about humans," he said, shaking his head. "Just rumors, just myths." His crew was nervous, but they trusted him until they picked up a strange signal. It was faint, broken, repeating a voice. "Human, old, robotic. Turn back. This is your only warning." Then silence. Captain Voss frowned. Who sent that? No one answered because all their screens went black. The stars outside changed, dark shapes moved across the sky. The silent armada was near. Hundreds of black warships, no lights, no windows, just shadows drifting through space like silent predators. The Sirlin's crew panicked. The engines were pushed to full power. "Turn around!" Voss shouted. "Get us out now!" But it was already too late. A single black ship appeared right in front of them. No sound, no message, just a sudden scan. The Saralan froze systems locked by an invisible force. Then, a signal burst through. The ship's speakers every speaker, every screen, every frequency. The voice spoke. You were warned. Then another message followed, one meant for the whole galaxy. It spread faster than any government transmission. One line, one final warning. You crossed into human space, now face the silence. The Saralan was never seen again. Only its final message remained. The recording was played in every council, every empire, every broadcast tower, and for the first time in thousands of years, all of the galaxy went quiet. Worlds stopped their wars. Ships stayed in port. Borders were sealed because everyone knew the real war hadn't even started yet. The humans hadn't spoken, but their machines had. And the next time something moved from human space, it would not be a warning, it would be the end. The galaxy held its breath. After the last transmission from the Saralan, no one dared move near human space again. But it no longer mattered, because the black ships, the silent armada, were already moving, not to defend, not to warn, but to reclaim. On the edge of Zarnok territory, hundreds of warships appeared from the void. No engines visible, no heat signatures, but they moved with purpose, fast and unstoppable. The Zarnok sent fleets to block them. They were wiped out in minutes, not one human soldier was seen, only machines, cold, efficient, unforgiving. Back in the galactic core, the council gathered. In fear, they watched the live feeds. Cities burning, stations collapsing, ships turning to dust. A young diplomat asked, "Can we contact the humans? Can we talk?" An older counselor shook his head. "They are not listening. We had our chance." Hundreds of years ago, suddenly, every screen in the galaxy changed. No matter the system, no matter the planet. A symbol appeared, Earth, then a voice, smooth and calm. "Human, you drew your maps and left us out. You erased our name from your books. You sent fleets into our space. And now, you remember us. Earth never forgets. Earth never forgives. Earth reclaims the stars." Across the galaxy, old human outposts came alive. Abandoned stations powered up. Deep space gates reopened. Satellites long dead began broadcasting new orders. It was not just war, it was a return. On the ruined moon of Therax, a group of miners found a chamber hidden underground. Inside was a CRYO-pod. The pod opened. A man stepped out, old uniform, black, armor, the Earth symbol on his chest. He opened his eyes and smiled. In that moment, the truth became clear. The humans never disappeared. They waited, they watched, and now they were back. Not as victims, not as ghosts, but as the most powerful force the galaxy had ever seen. Worlds surrendered without a fight. Some welcomed them, others ran, but there was no escape, because Earth had come to take back what it once touched. And this time, no one would ever forget them again.